As the annual course selection approaches, the stress of picking the perfect courses affects freshmen, sophomores, and juniors alike.
Lucky for you, we're here to help you because we have experienced some of Lynbrook's most iconic and hardest courses. We're here to help you find the perfect balance between relaxing and rigorous courses, so stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Anir and I'm a junior. Precalc Honors was a very easy class for me because I took Algebra 2 Trig, and I really highly recommend that if you take that class, Precalc Honors would be very easy. However, for my case, Precalc Honors was online, which made it much easier because I had different tools available to me all the time, and the tests were all open note. And mostly the class, the entire first semester was basically what we learned in Algebra 2 Trig. So there wasn't much that I learned. And in second semester of Precalc Honors, we did learn a lot of new things. But although it was useful for me right now in calculus, we relearn everything we learned in second semester of Precalc Honors in calculus. So in my opinion, I would say it's not the most useful class. I think Algebra 2 Trig is a nice stepping stone for calculus. In terms of difficulty for tests, they weren't very difficult. And in terms of homework, there wasn't much homework for me online. However, there could be some homework now that we're back in person. So I do highly recommend that you take some kind of Algebra 2 course before taking Precalc Honors. I wouldn't recommend that skipping from geometry to Precalc Honors, since you do need some prior knowledge of Algebra 2 for the class. And the teachers are very nice and kind and will help and support you in any way that you need. So I don't think that's a big problem. And I would rate this class a 7 out of 10 just for the difficulty being very easy. I definitely think they could have included some calculus concepts since it was a stepping stone for calculus.
My name is May and I'm a senior. Last year I took Calc AB, AP Calc AB, and I thought it was a really good next step after pre-calc, and it checked like my calculus requirement off the list, and I had a decent experience doing it online, so I would recommend it to anybody who isn't pursuing a STEM career and would still like to complete the requirements. Rating. Oh, I would rate it 6 out of 10 because I don't like math.
Hi, my name is Shruti and I'm a junior. I took AP Calculus BC because I wanted to do a STEM major and I thought it would be a good basis for most of the math that I was majoring in college. And I feel like it is definitely a hard course, but because I guess I enjoy calculus and I enjoy math in general, so that's why I feel like it's a little bit like less work for me. But I would only recommend taking it if you really like math and like logic and that kind of stuff. If you don't, then it's gonna be like 4 hours of work basically a day. I mean, even for me it is, but it's like more enjoyable. But I feel like the tests aren't horrible, but it depends on the teacher that you have. So if you have Dipdol, then the tests are like known to be a little bit worse, whereas with Crescensen you have a little bit more homework, but that's not to say that either class is more easy or more difficult than the other. And I took Precalculus Honors before this, but I didn't really feel like it prepared me much for calculus, because you basically relearn everything that you did in pre-calc and calculus itself within the first few semesters, first few months, yeah. And I would rate this course like a 6 out of 10.
Hi, my name is Emma and I'm a senior. AP Stats is really different from a lot of math classes. There's a lot less technical things and a lot more analyzing. The first semester is pretty straightforward, but it gets a little bit harder the second semester. Overall, the amount of homework is pretty manageable and I tend to finish most of it during class. 7 out of 10.
I'm Lillian. I am a 12th grader.
I'm
I'm taking APCSP because it's an APCS course and I heard it's easier than APCSA. I took Intro to Java junior year and I don't think I could have taken APCSA and been sane at the end of it. We get a lot of time to work on projects or even other homework in class, which is nice. And just in general, the class is more project-based than it is test-based or busy work or homework-based, which I thought was a nice change from my other classes. I'd say rating out of 10, I'd give it an 8.
My name is Susanna and I'm a sophomore. APCSA is a great way to expand your problem-solving skills. For me, when I went to the class with prior coding experience, it was relatively easy since the beginning, but I think without prior coding experience, it might be overwhelming the first few weeks, but it'll definitely get better after you get the fundamental concepts of Java down. And the homework is basically most of the homework is mini fill-in-the-blank projects, and occasionally you'll have Google Forms with multiple choice questions, and if you pay attention, the homework will probably be pretty easy. And the tests are also pretty easy if you pay attention in the class well and you do the homework like you're supposed to. But you definitely do need to study and try in that class. I'd rate this class 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10.
Okay, my name is Mira and I'm here and I'm a junior. Okay, so I took AP Bio this year mostly because I wasn't really interested in physics as a subject, and after taking Bio freshman year, I thought it was really interesting to continue. So that was the main reason I decided to advance into AP Bio. In terms of homework, there tends to be a lot of reading every day. You have 3 sections per night sometimes. And sometimes you can also get even more homework on top of reading. You'll have big projects and labs or homework inside the textbook and questions like that. So it kind of adds up as you get on and on. And also usually we'll have a daily quiz in class that'll be 10 questions with some extra credit questions. So what's nice about those is that it's an easy way to get extra credit in the class, which is pretty good if you're struggling in some other areas. In terms of other things, there's a lot more labs than freshman year at least, which is kind of the best and most fun component of this class, is that you get to do hands-on learning and you can see bacteria grow and look at plants and all that cool stuff, which is a pretty interesting portion of biology. The tests, depending on the tests, depending on the content of the test, they might vary in difficulty. The tests always include an MCQ portion and an FRQ portion, similar to the AP test. There's also, the tests tend to have a big curve too, so that's honestly a pretty good part of the class, is that the tests aren't that bad. Yeah, so overall I would give the class a rating of 7 because there tends to be a lot of homework, but it's curved enough that the class doesn't end up too bad.
Hello, my name is Eliu and I am a senior taking AP Chem. Yeah, so I'm taking AP Chem my senior year because I want to take the AP test in May. I've taken Mr. Liang's Chem Honors course in my sophomore year, so I have a pretty good idea of how this class works and his tests and just the homework in general. So I think the biggest difference between AP Chem and Chem Honors is that a lot of the concepts are overlapping, but the biggest difference is that AP Chem goes a lot more in depth with the topics, especially in second semester. And first semester, most of the AP Chem is review from Chem Honors, so just a little bit more, the pace is a lot quicker and you cover a lot more content in the first semester of AP Chem, but it's mostly a review of Chem Honors from, just mostly a review from Chem Honors. But in second semester, the topics in AP Chem are a lot harder and Mr. Liang goes a lot quicker because we have to prepare for the AP test. So second semester is a lot harder for AP Chem. With regards to AP Chem's tests and homework, the tests are a bit harder than the Chem Honors tests, but they're definitely like not as, the difficulty is about the same. And there's usually like multiple choice and a free response. So the multiple choice does go a lot more in depth, but the free response is generally around the same length. For homework, AP Chem does give a lot of homework, but Mr. Young does a good job of spreading it out over the week. So the homework is always due on the next block day. Most students do have the time to have the time, like during tutorial or during class, to ask questions about it. And I think Mr. Young does a really good job of explaining the concepts. He's always willing to help the students whenever they ask for help, and he does a really good job of like explaining how to do like the homework problems. I would give this course a 9 out of 10 because Mr. Young does a really great job of teaching all the concepts. The only thing is that it's a little bit slow because Mr. Young does account for the fact that some of the students haven't taken Chem before taking the AP Chem class, so the beginning is a little bit slow and some of the labs are a bit tedious. But in general, most students should be able to understand like the basic concepts of Chem and be able to do pretty well on the AP exam.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a junior. I took AP Physics because I took calculus in my sophomore year and I wanted to apply my calculus skills before I forgot them. So I took AP Physics Mechanics without taking Physics Honors. But the difference between Physics Honors and AP Physics is that Physics Honors covers a much broader scope of knowledge but not as in-depth, whereas AP Physics doesn't cover some topics like electricity, but it does go very in-depth on the topics that we do cover. The homework workload isn't too bad. There's not like 1 to 100 odd for the homework, but each problem is like has a lot of parts, they'll hit you with the A, B, C, D, E, F. But if you don't know the solution, you can always go on topper.com and you'll get a pretty extensive explanation. If you understand that, you should do fine on the tests. The tests are very difficult. The classes usually fail them, but my teacher will curve it with the AP curve. So for example, if you got like a 70%, that would be curved to like a 90 or an 80. Other courses, I have not taken AP Bio or AP Chem, but AP Physics is a good choice for you if you like math, logic, calculus. I would recommend taking calculus before taking the course. And as for rating the course out of 10, one of our class averages for a test was 56%, so I have to give it a 5.6 out of 10.
Physiology is a really great class. It's pretty straightforward and the topics covered are super interesting. There's a significant amount of memorization, but it's not too fast-paced. The amount of homework is super manageable and you do really cool things in class like dissections. I'd rate it a 9 out of 10 for science classes.
My name is Neha and I'm a junior. I took AMLIT this year. I took it because I didn't want a workload of taking APLAC and APUSH. So far, the class is pretty easy. We don't have a lot of homework. We basically just read a chapter in class and analyze it for homework. The tests are also pretty easy. There's like quick reading quizzes. There's not a lot of essays either. So I would probably rate it like an 8 out of 10.
My name's Amishi and I'm a junior. Okay, so I took APLAC because I generally enjoy writing. APLAC is one of my more easier classes, surprisingly, but that's also because my teacher is like less strict than some of the other teachers who teach APLAC. As for homework and tests, in APLAC you get like a fair amount of homework, but most of it you can complete in class, and there's like a reasonable amount of time given to do it, so it's not like you're cramming everything in like one day or the night before. As for tests are basically just writing. You have like 3 types of writing. You have synthesis, argumentative, and then rhetorical analysis, and that's basically what your tests are, like writing on each of those in like 45 minutes. And then you also have like multiple choice questions, which are like I think 60 or 45, something like that, multiple choice questions. And mostly, like as any writing class, like tests are just either like multiple choice or tests can just be essays. Compared to APUSH, APLAC is easier than APUSH, in my opinion. And as I mentioned, it really depends on your teacher for APLAC. The teacher which I have for APLAC is pretty chill compared to some other teachers for APLAC. So it really depends on your teacher, and if you have a teacher who like makes you do in-class essays a lot or like has a lot really hard analysis questions, then it's a lot harder. And I would give this course like a 9 out of 10 because I think it was pretty useful.
Hi, my name is Charlene Chen. I'm a senior currently and I'm taking AP Literature this year. So I chose to take AP Literature because I really enjoy reading literature in general, and I think the classroom discussions we have in my AP Lit class are one of the best I've ever had. Our teacher really encourages us to write essays from a kind of different, less formulaic way that I've done in the past. Like she has us find something that we want to investigate rather than start with a thesis. And as in terms of course load, I think it's around the same as APLAC, like AP Language and Composition. We do write a lot of in-class essays and we read a lot, but I wouldn't say it's been particularly challenging. I think if you really just genuinely enjoy literature and class discussions and poetry, then you would like this class. If I were to give this class a rating, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, I took APUSH because I enjoy history and I thought it would be a fun class to take. A lot of people say that APUSH is really hard because of the reading and the tests, and I would say I somewhat agree. In APUSH, I have Howden, and Howden like gives like pretty okay homework. Like as long as you don't procrastinate and do it the night before, you should be good. Homework usually consists of doing like writing essays and usually like analyzing things, and more than half of the time you finish these things in class because your APUSH teacher gives you enough time to do it in class and finish it. So APUSH like homework is basically just reading chapters and then taking notes on those chapters. As for tests are also, I would say, pretty straightforward. As long as you do the reading, you should get like a pretty good score on the test, and all APUSH tests are curved. So even if you like got like a C on the actual test, it's probably going to be curved to an A. So I wouldn't stress that much about tests, and everything in the gradebook is like weighted the same. So even if you like bomb the test, the next thing you'll have will be like a really easy project or something which is really easy, and then your grade will like go up again. But that also means that your grade is like always fluctuating. But I think it's like in terms of difficulty, it's not that hard. Just you need to allot time. Like I would say one chapter is like 30 pages, and like chapter tests are like chapters like 19 to 24. So you would definitely have like at least 6 hours of reading total if you were like doing 1 hour per chapter. And then the notes also have to be in MLA format. But also this class offers a lot of extra credit. So I think overall APUSH is not that hard. It's pretty okay, and like all the rumors about APUSH, like you doing a ton of homework, that's only because people procrastinate. So as long as you like time yourself well and like actually do stuff in class instead of talking to your friends, you will be fine. Compared to other courses, well, I have friends in US history, and like when we talk, we're basically at the same level. So it's not like APUSH goes faster or US history goes faster. It's basically the same. The only thing is we go more in depth, and I think I personally enjoyed going more in depth because like Howden tells a lot of memorable stories about things, so it really helps me memorize what's happening. So yeah, I think Howden was a pretty good teacher, and Oh, I still have him, so he is a pretty good teacher, and I generally enjoy his class. One thing about APUSH which I don't like is Socratic seminars. So Socratic seminars happen like pretty much monthly now that we're in second semester, and they consist of the whole class. So half of the time it's like literally the Hunger Games trying to talk, because like everyone's talking over each other, and it's really sad because like when you haven't talked yet and someone else has talked like 3-4 times, they'll like still talk over you and get like one more point. So that's like the only thing I don't like about APUSH. But other than that, it's a pretty chill class, so I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Benny Chang, and I'm a senior, and this year I took AP Gov. AP Gov was a class that I really enjoyed. I was always passionate and excited about politics, so this was a class that I always wanted to take, and when I took it, it definitely wasn't a disappointment. As someone who knew a lot about politics, this class was challenging for me, like not to the degree that I couldn't handle it, but it pushed me to learn more, even as someone who already knew a lot about the subject. But it wasn't overwhelming. There was a lot of work. I had Mr. Williams, and the class was really fun, but there was a lot of work. It's not just like you just do it, easy class. It's an AP class, and that requires a lot of work, and I know that lots of my classmates, they had to work really hard to learn the materials because it was newer for them. But I think in general for everyone, from a general take for an audience who doesn't regularly follow politics and is not the most, a master of it, it's definitely a class that you can handle. It's much easier than APUSH if you took that, and I think it's a really fun thing to take, and I highly encourage you to take it, but don't take it just because, you think it's an easy A, because it's definitely something that you have to work towards. And out of a 10 rating, because I like politics, I'll give it a 9.
And with that, we wish you the best of luck with your course selection.
Yes, thank you for watching.